Welcome back to the Crypto World channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now Bitcoin has obviously seen a breakout to the upside out of this triangle formation, and the price has run straight into the previous high just here, which is now providing resistance in the short term. And with this recent bullish move over the past 1 day, this is the first sign of the momentum in Bitcoin actually starting to increase once again. So in just a moment, I'll be covering all of that and more in this video. So be sure to stick around all the way to the end so that you're not missing out on any of this important information. But just before we jump into it, be sure to leave a like on the video down below. And if you're new to the channel, you might as well subscribe with notifications turned on for more videos like this one, because it only takes a couple seconds out of your day and it's completely free to click like and subscribe down below, and you're going to be getting this valuable content every day here on the channel. But anyway, with all of that out of the way, let's get straight to what this video is about. So right here, we're on the Bitcoin US dollar chart on the 4-hour time frame, and obviously over the past 1 day, Bitcoin has seen a move to the upside out of this descending triangle pattern, which was actually, technically speaking, one of the less likely scenarios that I was covering in yesterday's video. Quickly recapping yesterday's video, once again, a main point of that video, I was talking about the fact that Bitcoin is actually losing momentum here. That has been the trend over the past 1 month, as you can see with the actual gains that we've seen from the bullish crosses in the MACD. Once again, for the new viewers on the channel that want more of an explanation on exactly what this is, I definitely recommend checking out my Bitcoin video that I posted yesterday on the channel. But just really quickly updating you guys that missed that video, basically we saw a 35% gain in the first bullish cross in the MACD here, and after that 35% gain, the next bullish cross led to a 15% gain, and then the one after that led to an 11% gain, and the one after that led to a 3% gain. So we were clearly having some sort of diminishing returns here. We were clearly losing the bullish momentum over the past 1 month. But in yesterday's Bitcoin video, I did actually let you guys know that we're just about to see another bullish cross here in the 4-hour MACD. But technically speaking, because of the trends that we were in, I was actually not expecting too much bullish price action out of that bullish cross just there. But now that obviously we've exceeded the previous 3% gain here from the previous bullish cross, in fact, measuring out from the most recent bullish cross now, the one that we only saw around yesterday, to the current price, that is around a 5% gain in Bitcoin, which obviously exceeds that 3% gain that we saw last time once again. So that in turn means that we are actually gaining momentum once again in the Bitcoin price and potentially reversing this trend of diminishing returns that we've seen over the past 1 month. Now, another big factor of this bullish movement that we've seen over the past 24 hours is, of course, the breakout in the RSI. As you can see just here in the 4-hour RSI, this is something that I also covered yesterday. We were seeing lower high after lower high in the 4-hour RSI for Bitcoin once again, and technically speaking, it is leaning slightly more bearish if we are below this resistance. But the absolute moment we start breaking above this point just here, which, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, was coming in at around 50 on the RSI, the moment we break that level just there, that's when things start looking more bullish again for Bitcoin. And once again, it was as soon as we broke that level that the Bitcoin price began to pump to the upside straight into this point of resistance, which of course is the previous high, coming in at around $50,500 US, which is just short of that $51,000 resistance level. And why is Bitcoin finding resistance along that sort of price range? Well, not just because we've already found resistance there, but if you're zooming out to the daily Bitcoin time frame, as you can see, bringing out the Fibonacci retracement tool from the all-time high down to the $29,000 low, this puts the most important Fibonacci level, which is the 61.8% Fibonacci level, and that's actually the start of the golden pocket, right at around $51,000 US. And the top of the golden pocket is the 65% Fibonacci level, coming in at around 52,000, just above 52,000. So basically, in between 51 and 52,000, that little range just there on the Bitcoin chart is the golden pocket, and that is one of the most important levels that we need to break above in order to flip really bullish again on the daily time frame. While we are still below that range just there, to be honest, I'm not overly bullish on Bitcoin just yet, because technically speaking, while we are below that range, there's still a possibility that we can reverse a little bit further to the downside here, so we can't disregard the bearish possibility just yet. But as I've mentioned time and time again on the channel, if we start breaking above around $52,000 US with strong confirmation, especially if we can confirm that as support, then that is when I would flip much more bullish on the Bitcoin price. And if we can get above the golden pocket just there, the next Fibonacci level for Bitcoin is of course the 78.6% Fibonacci level, and that's coming in at just above 57,000 US dollars. And we've also found a decent amount of resistance at around 57,000 US dollars previously, as you can see back here. So if we start breaking above 57K, then I would actually expect the all-time high to come into play, which is currently sitting just below 65,000 US dollars. But obviously, before we can even focus on those much higher levels, first we need to have our focus on the golden pocket at around 51 to 52,000. That is definitely the level of resistance that I am paying attention to. And if we cannot get above that range just there, if we start turning around again like what we saw just over a week ago here, where could the Bitcoin price find support? Well, we already found support along this line just here twice over the past 1 week, as you can see, and that's coming in at just below 47,000 US dollars, give or take. And also considering 48,000 was previous resistance here, I would also consider 48,000 as potentially some short-term support as well. So in between 47 to 48,000, once again, that will now act as some short-term supports for Bitcoin. Now, what's also very interesting about what's happening right now in the Bitcoin price is taking a look on the daily time frame as well here for Bitcoin. As you can see, the Bitcoin price was previously forming this massive rising wedge pattern. And if you're taking a closer look as to what is happening right now in the Bitcoin price, we originally saw a break to the downside a couple days ago now, around 3 to 4 days ago. And only just now are we actually seeing the retest of this previous support level. So if we get a rejection around the current prices, which by the way, this previous support level just here, which is the level that we're currently retesting, that is coming in at just above 50,000 US dollars. So basically, if we can get a rejection from around 50,000 approximately, then obviously that would not look too good for Bitcoin just here. So keep that in mind as well. Once again, while we're still below that golden pocket, I know I say it so much, but we can still have these sort of bearish scenarios play out. It's only after we break above around 51 to 52,000 that a lot of these bearish scenarios actually get cancelled out. And I've gone over this rising wedge pattern time and time again previously on the channel. So for the brand new viewers on the channel that want to know all of the price targets and other things to do with this rising wedge pattern, definitely go back on the channel and check out a few of my last Bitcoin update videos. And now just bringing out the RSI and the MACD here on the daily time frame for Bitcoin. Even though we've seen a bullish cross in the 4-hour MACD and a breakout in the 4-hour RSI, when you're looking at the daily RSI and the daily MACD, we haven't really seen those flip bullish just yet. So right now, the RSI on the daily time frame is actually looking somewhat neutral. It's not overly bearish because as you can see, we've pretty much just been heading sideways over the past 1 week or so. So once again, the RSI on the daily time frame is looking more neutral, if anything, but the MACD on the daily time frame is still technically speaking in this bearish momentum until we actually see this bullish cross and the momentum flip back into the green here, which once again, we haven't seen just yet. But if we can continue to break higher in the Bitcoin price, then it is actually very likely that we're going to see that within the next 2 to 3 days. But once again, we haven't seen a huge confirmation on the daily time frame that reveals another huge move to the upside until once again, we break that golden pocket. Now, just quickly updating you guys on the Voucher ratio. This is an indicator that I brought to the channel 2 days ago now. So for the brand new viewers on the channel that have no idea what this indicator is and how it is determined, for a deeper explanation on exactly what this indicator is and how it actually works, once again, definitely go on my YouTube channel and take a look at not my last Bitcoin update video, but the one before that, the one that I uploaded 2 days ago. Once again, I went into a deeper explanation on exactly what this is just here. But essentially right now, it is still preparing us for potentially some bearish price action to come into play, but it hasn't been confirmed. The bearish price action gets confirmed when this red line just here crosses beneath the orange line, as you can see, and that has not happened just yet. And if you're zooming out on the Bitcoin chart just here to take a look at some previous times where this indicator flashed this red signal, as you can see, since November 2020, this indicator has flashed this red signal 6 times. And out of those 6 times, we've seen 5 of those warning signals actually be accurate. So once again, 5 out of 6 were accurate, which means that 5 out of 6 of those warning signals that we saw previously actually led into a Bitcoin correction to the downside. Once again, we saw some small corrections after we saw these warning signals just here. Out of all of these signals just here that we saw previously, it was only 1 out of 6 that was actually inaccurate. We didn't really see much correction just here in around December 2020. And out of these previous signals just here, the biggest correction that we actually saw was this one in January, and that was around a 30, nearly 31% correction to the downside that lasted for around 2 weeks. And the smallest corrections were perhaps this one in around the end of November 2020. That correction was only around 16% to the downside approximately. And we also saw this one up here during the middle of March 2021. That correction was only around 18% to the downside. Now, if you want to count this signal that we saw in the middle of April as the signal that led into this huge crash, then obviously that was the biggest correction that we've seen recently to do with this indicator just here. From top to bottom, that was around a 55% correction in the Bitcoin price. But I'm not really counting the May crash for the signal that we saw back in April, because obviously we saw that small correction in the end of April, and then we actually had a bounce in the Bitcoin price before we then saw the crash during May. So even though we're seeing some bullish price action here in the short term, I'm still looking at the bigger picture at some of these indicators here, because not everything is actually pointing towards the bullish side. So it's really important to keep a clear vision and also look at some bearish indicators that we're currently seeing as well. For example, the Bitcoin funding rates on these exchanges. As you can see just here, the majority of the entire funding rates across all of these cryptos are pretty much all extremely positive. They're almost all in the red, as you can see, and that is actually bearish. Technically speaking, that is more bearish than it is bullish. Once again, I've explained these funding rates in much more detail in previous videos for the brand new viewers on the channel. But basically, the more positive they are, the more bearish they are, because the more positive they are, the more the long positions have to pay the short positions in funding rate fees. So just keep this in mind. Once again, we can still play out some short-term bearish price action. As I've said many times, it's only after we break that golden pocket for Bitcoin at around 51 to 52,000 that we really start looking bullish once again. But anyway, that's just about everything I have to say for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to leave a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so that you're not missing out on any of these future videos. I really appreciate all of your support on the channel at the moment. I can't thank you guys enough. But anyway, that's really everything I have to say for this video. Once again, I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next video.